Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. US President Joe Biden says he would consider personal sanctions on Vladimir Putin if Russia invades Ukraine.
I'd feel obliged to beef up our...
Mr. Biden said there would be enormous consequences for the world if Russia made a move on the nation. His comments come as other Western leaders repeated warnings that Russia would pay a heavy price for invasion. Russia, which has released footage of warships rehearsing for battle in the Black Sea, has accused the US and others of escalating tensions over the issue and denies planning to enter Ukraine.
I made it clear early on to President Putin that if he were to move into Ukraine, that there'd be severe consequences, including significant economic sanctions.
Fears are growing for hundreds of children in a Syrian prison seized by Islamic State inmates after 6 days of clashes with Kurdish-led fighters seeking to regain control of the facility. The sound of heavy gunfire could be heard on Wednesday in the northeastern Syrian city of Hasaka after days of clashes between Kurdish-led forces backed by US troops and Islamic Jihad fighters. More than 220 people have been killed and around 550 militants have surrendered so far. The fighting has also forced over 45,000 civilians, mostly women and children, to flee from their homes. US Coast Guard officials are searching for 39 people who are feared missing after their ship capsized off the Florida coast. Officials were alerted after fishermen spotted a man clinging to the hull of a boat 72 kilometers from the city of Fort Pierce. The survivor said the group had embarked from the Bahamas on Saturday night and hit foul weather. US officials say the boat may have been part of a human smuggling ring. Cuban officials say more than 700 people who took part in anti-government protests last year have been charged with crimes including sedition, vandalism, theft and public disorder. It comes a day after the country rejected accusations by rights groups that its court system had unfairly jailed protesters following widespread unrest. The public prosecutor's office said 172 people had already been tried and convicted without giving details. Families and activists have criticised the trials as unfair and say the sentences are disproportionate. The International Committee of the Red Cross says that for the first time in 5 months, it has delivered medical aid to the war-hit Ethiopian northern region of Tigray. The news is a rare glimmer of hope for Tigray, which continues to suffer from shortages of essential supplies 15 months into the conflict. The ICRC's health coordinator in the country said the development was a huge relief. The planes, which included essential drugs, arrived in the Tigrayan capital Mekelle on Wednesday. A large explosion in a building in central Athens early on Wednesday has blown out windows and caused structural damage to nearby buildings and damaged cars. One building resident was slightly injured, police said, on the mezzanine floor where it is believed the blast originated. The explosion sparked a fire in the 6th floor building. Some 24 firefighters with 9 vehicles tackled the blaze. The ending to the cult 1999 US film Fight Club has been removed for viewers in China and replaced by a screen with a message saying that the authorities had won. The original ending saw Edward Norton's narrator killing his imaginary alter ego Tyler Durden, played by Brad Pitt, before bombs destroyed buildings to reorder society. In China, before the explosions, a message now says the police foiled the plot, arrested the criminals, and sent Durden to a lunatic asylum. And finally, Ghanaians online have been loving their parliamentary speaker's new look. Alban Bagbin wore a traditional outfit with kente fabric and a crown that is worn by chiefs during ceremonies on Tuesday when Parliament reopened after the Christmas break. Before finishing up for the holidays, he had asked MPs to ditch formal attire like suits and promote local, more traditional outfits. The Speaker said he would do so for ceremonial occasions and tweeted a photo of his regalia for Parliament's opening session to high praise from many online. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.